Hello, hi everyone. This is Leimomi Keliikuli, Intuitive Soul Alignment Coach here. So I wanted to jump on in and make a video for you guys to, help you in terms of seeing really what alignment is for you. And basically, I'm going to talk about why achieving success and, making lots of money doesn't always equal to, being in that alignment. And really the difference and the most easiest way that's going to, help you to do it without feeling like you're, losing your spirituality or your momentum in your business at the same time. So I have everyone here on my computer, but I also have, I'm streaming on my phone. So just let me double check and make sure everything's okay. And also I can also help to find out where you are in alignment or you're not in alignment. So this is a good chance for you to ask me your questions. Okay. So first of all, if you've been following me, you might know what my story is. So I'm just going to, if you're new to me, I can also, share the background as to why I'm going to be sharing this with everyone. So I am basically an intuitive soul alignment coach, and I basically teach people how to really be in alignment with their soul and create a business that they absolutely love, without sabotaging, their ability to still have success and to have it all, but to really do it in a way that is very purposeful, and it's through conscious living, right? That's really true in alignment with the way that your soul is designed to show up in the world. So I use the Akashic Records, I use many other tools, but I use the Akashic Records to find out what your soul's gifts are. And your soul's gifts actually is what I found is the key to success. And it's the easiest way to do it in flow and in alignment. So if you, first time listening to me, you may not know too much of my background, so I'm going to, share with you first as to why I'm an expert in this, in this, because I myself have been experiencing different levels of success. So I know where, where you may have abundant and where you may not have, and why that is so. So I'm just going to give a little bit some time for everybody to jump on. But I do wanted to start to talk from a very different perspective. And if you've been following me, you know that I always talk about the energetics of business and life and how to do it in a way that's for you to feel this soul alignment. So before I did this work, and before I decided to do this work, I really, really lived a life that was on purpose, but it was in alignment to me, but not completely. And I actually used to be a psychic monk. So everything that I did out of a service. I've read millions of people's and healed millions of people's energies. And, I have found different ways on how to help people in whatever consciousness level that they're in. So before I did this work, I really realized that through that misalignment, through being misaligned to my purpose, I was able to actually pinpoint about exactly what the soul's gifts are and categorize them accordingly to, who you are, who you are meant to work with, who you're meant to help, right? So your clients, your messaging, and seeing it from a perspective of your soul. So that's my expertise. Is once I get you in once I look you up in your Akashic Records and look at your soul's blueprints, I can exactly pinpoint where you're blocked, where you're missing things in your life, like, missing that alignment, and then how to do it in a much more flow and easy way. Because I found that the way that we've been taught is we've been doing it working hard, do this strategy or that, and it works, but it maybe work temporarily. So it's more about knowing where you are in your life and business and where you need to go. So my goal in this live stream is to kind of let you be aware the difference between, when you are really doing your true purpose, right? And when you are doing just kind of partially what you're meant to do. Most of the things that we are doing right now, we are usually doing at a very smaller scale than the way that God and Source made us to do at a higher level of service. So, and even if you had that higher level of success, it doesn't always mean that, like I said, that you are in alignment. So one of the biggest pain points that I've noticed is that people have severe issues with how they relate to money, which has a lot to do with their value, what they value, what they truly want to give value, right? And so we usually measure success by how much money we make or who we know, or, all these different levels of success, right? What a successful person really looks like. And I think like we have to, as humanity, to really decide on really what it means for us to have a certain level of success and abundance, and what we truly want, in terms of like our wildest dreams. In 2017 is a very big year for a lot of people, where it's the Phoenix rising, where we're actually going from letting go of everything, and you probably have been experiencing this so far, and you're starting off with nothing, or you have been creating that momentum, and then now you're getting even more expansive than what you've been doing all these times and all these years. So if you really want to see from that perspective, what is alignment, you have to first go back into truly what alignment means to you. And what alignment, my definition of what alignment really means is being truly connected with Source, and trusting Source will give you everything that you're needing, but you are also creating it with Source. Like you are the embodiment of Source. Whatever you call, that higher sense of power. And what I found is that no level of success is actually truly in alignment if you haven't been able to experience that in your heart. You haven't been able to have that access to your heart in that way. Because really, that alignment has a lot to do with being deeply connected to Source, to the point where you can actually trust this inner voice and create from the heart. For all of humanity, all of these times, we've been creating from the brain. And I myself, when I was, doing my work as a psychic monk, I did of course, a lot that I felt was truly my purpose, and it came from my heart. But when I look back at the way that I was driven, the way that I created, it was really from the brain, because that was the way that I was taught. And one of the biggest things that you really need to be aware of is that achieving money goals is just one tiny part of alignment. Achieving, like being known in your industry, is just like one tiny part of alignment. It's like there's these key pieces of, right, the transformations that you're receiving depends on your capacity of actually working in alignment with your heart creation. So this is truly the difference, okay? The real difference between whether you're really doing this, achieving the success and creating money this way, that's really in alignment, okay? And I think when we get success, we automatically assume that I may lose myself, lose control, I may lose my spirituality, I may lose this momentum that I've created. But actually what it comes down to is it's about you allowing, your true purpose, meaning your higher level of service, to come through. And just because, we may have some success with one particular thing doesn't necessarily mean that that's the whole thing. Most of the time, the way that source gives us like all these different opportunities are dependent upon, giving you a lesson from one part and giving you another lesson of another part. And it's like through this journey, you kind of figure out where you are weak and where you have your strength. So alignment actually has a lot to do with like putting all these pieces of your soul, pieces of what your gifts are and what you're meant to express in the world, in its own originality, in its own original fashion. So if we're living more integrated, then we become more multidimensional. We have more access to our higher gifts. We have more access to the ability to speak our truth. We have more access to, following what our heart truly desires. We have more access to being more grounded in up-leveling all the, life areas in our life. All of these things are all very symbolic of alignment, right? But the way that we've been taught is that just because I made a lot of money and that I had success, being a leader in your industry, or you had success where you got a reward or something, right? Whether maybe you're a singer or something and you got a reward for the best recording artist, or all of these kind of things that are sort of evidence. They're just evidence of your alignment, but that doesn't mean that you are really, really in alignment. So I have to tell you that the key difference is really looking at your consciousness level. Most people, the way that they operate is just about these kind of things that I'm talking about, right? The different tangible results that has been happening in result of some effort or something that you did to create momentum in your business, or becoming more spiritually aware, or whatever it is that you're really, really desiring right now. It doesn't necessarily mean you're in alignment. So here's the difference. Thank you for listening to this part and to this part. Here's the difference is you need to know where is your true voice in this. And if your voice, if you truly feel your soul's voice has come from a direct embodiment of source, then you can really, really say that it's alignment. But if your soul's voice is coming kind of like from the brain or from the ego or from this idea of some illusion or something that you're supposed to become, that ultimately becomes you being misaligned, and then you bring everybody else into misalignment. And even though that they may get transformations and they get their successes, that doesn't also mean that you are in alignment either. And I had to learn the hard way, because for more than 10 years, when I was a psychic monk, I was teaching yoga and meditation and healing and, all of these things that was truly an expression of part of my gift. Really one really big part of my gift, which is I'm really, really good at business. I'm really, really good at seeing like where you're energetically blocked, where you are and where you need to go towards, but really being in alignment. And I did that for, more than 10 years. I worked my butt off, and I know what's it like when it's just you're working really, really hard and it feels good. And I made millions of dollars. Like I made a lot of money. I was really well known as a psychic guru. I had every level of success, and people really, really thought of me as that leader. And now that I look back at it, I'm thinking, wow, I had to lose it all. And I had to walk away because I really felt that wasn't in alignment to my truth any longer. And once I did that, I really could live the most abundant part of my purpose. That was one part of my purpose, which was, helping at a bigger scale, but it never fully felt right. It always felt like I was trying really hard. And I worked really hard, like 7 days a week, really worked really hard. And I, created miracles for people, but within myself, I never really felt the real truth come out because it wasn't really from my soul's voice. And then when I decided to start my business, which was all about this, which is, alignment and source and being connected to source and finding your purpose in a way that is directly from your soul's gifts, integrating your gifts, talking about bringing yourself into a higher level of consciousness, like all of those things that my soul wanted to express, I couldn't express because I was so limited in what I had to do in my expertise, right? Like, what do you expect from a yoga teacher? What do you expect from a psychic who gives you readings and stuff like that? I was so captured into what I thought I needed to be. So remember that all of that parts of your soul does not mean, all of those parts that you have done does not mean that that's alignment. When you really feel in alignment, your soul will feel it. You'll feel alive. You feel like you're just in this self-expression. Your heart feels on fire. You just can't stop talking about this subject. You absolutely cannot do it in another way. And like I was saying, in my other live streams before, we have very, very particular soul's gifts. And on a spectrum, we either will have a primary, secondary, or a third type of gift. And when you're aligned to in every part of them in the right fashion, your business is going to grow much more quicker than you trying to only do one tiny part of what your soul's gift is. So, for example, right, me teaching the yoga and the meditation and being a monk and doing all of that out of service, I was able to create the foundational tools for what I do right now, which has a lot to do with business and all these business tools. So that's all about divine creation. And then when I talked about leadership, right, because there is a part of my soul that really speaks its truth in a way that is about getting people to get off their butt and take action. And when I aligned too much on that, again, it felt like I had to work hard. I had to show up in a certain way. I had to act in a certain way because of what I thought I had to be as a leader. So either way, and by the way, that's divine power, right? It's really, really about empowering people and inspiring people, which I'm really, really good at. I just, be myself and I just explain my story and people really resonate with it. But when I really, really, really got into my real truth, was all about love, divine love. When I embodied divine love, there was this deeper connection to source that all the information I need to know is just channeling right through my heart. And when I operated from that, my whole life become way, 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 way more abundant and way more easier. I'm not thinking about it so much. I'm not trying to come from a place of lack, or I'm not trying to figure out what the heck is wrong with my mindset. I'm really, really just keep living in alignment with that part of my gift, my main gift. And so you have to realize that this connection to source is not necessarily meaning of all the other things around you, whether you help somebody or you've achieve a certain thing in your life or your business. That has nothing to do with alignment. That has to do with evidence that you are kind of in alignment, but it doesn't ultimately mean that you are in this alignment. So I want you to recalibrate your brain and to think in a different way. That actually true alignment is this feeling of oneness with source. It's this feeling of completely trusting and moving in harmony with your soul's voice and with your unique expression that you're meant to bring out into the world. So if you operate from this, everything flows so much more easily, and you're not afraid of whether you're going to lose your momentum or your spirituality in the process, right? So remember now, all of these things are showing up for you in its very, very unique fashion. But your next step is doing it so that it's aligned to your soul, like every single day. Every single day you're manifesting amazing, amazing stuff, right? If you are in alignment, you will be manifesting every 2 to 4 days. If you're not fully in alignment, then you're not creating that much kind of real, tangible things in your life. Okay, so ultimately, that is what actually alignment is you are really creating directly from the heart, and everything you wish and everything that you stand for or who you help transform into, they get it. You get it, people get it all around you, and it flows directly from your main gift, right? I just saw some comments. I'm sorry, they should stop a bit. Lauren says, my main gift is empowerment. Oh, cool. You did a reading. Okay, good. That is just one part. Okay, Lauren, by the way, one part of alignment. And by the way, Lauren was my client, and I taught her a lot about all of this stuff. I'm a really big expert in the soul's gifts. I teach you how to do this in real life. So once you've got that, which is you know that your empowerment, you are about this power, right? That is where your originality of everything that you share, whether it's in your life or business, needs to be aligned to that. Then you've got your secondary and you've got your secondary and your third gifts that you actually need to use on top of them. Because without using them both, you will never be able to attract the right people to give the transformations to. You won't have the tools. You won't have the ability to, bring your business in a flow that really, really resonates with your people. So I've actually been able to tailor and figure out where your gifts are, where what your archetypes are, what your highest psychic gifts are, what your business model should look like. All of those, things, even like words that really, really, really resonates as your power words that you should be expressing to other people. All of these things are what's going to make it so much easier for you to show up. And of course, you need to have the clearing work and you get rid of all that stuff in the black background. But the key is your blueprints, your soul's blueprints. It's like the roadmap to success and, alignment for your soul. Every time I get stuck, I go back to my blueprints. I go look at what is it that I was missing? What is it that I need to add? What is it that I need to get rid of? What I need to align to? So, by the way, I'll show you guys kind of like how much information your soul has. Is so incredible. I have a whole binder of this, of my soul's blueprints. Everything I need to know about my soul comes from here. One of the biggest things that you need to know is your manifesting blueprints. And your manifesting blueprints, obviously it's going to tell you how you manifest, how you create. And when you take my 14-day program, I will give you your manifesting blueprint and how to use it. Even though you know it and you know it in your head, if you're not using it every day and you're not manifesting every 2 to 4 days, that means that you're not in alignment. Because it's so possible. Okay. I also have like the blueprints of my life lessons, even my energetic matrix of my soul and percentages of what my soul exactly is on a spectrum. So you have usually your main divine gift, but you also have something else. You have your secondary and your third and stuff, and you have to look up all of them in order to know how to align to them. You have even your inner circle spirit guides. Your spirit guides have their own profile just like you. You have your own profile too, and all of that information You just need to really, really do things in alignment to them, and then it's going to bring in more levels of abundance. Okay. For some reason I don't have the other one. I also have like particular words that I use that are my power words that are for the soul. And all of these unique power words, by the way, I have written them all out exactly. And I use them because it's your soul has that particular vibration that other souls need to receive from you and receive that transformation so that it can embody it. And there are very, very particular words that your soul like resonates with your audience. And the more you get in alignment with them and the more you use them in your language, the faster you'll see that you grow and your clients also grow too. Okay. But anyway, that's what's really amazing. It's like when you really pinpoint your soul's profile, you actually, and all your blueprints, you'll be able to do it much more in flow, and you're gonna use them in a way that's going to resonate to your audience, and you don't have to feel like you have to try, like you don't have to show up in a certain way. And for years I've been doing that. I've been like trying really, really hard with my messaging to speak a certain way that really, really wasn't my soul, and then I got everybody else like confused on whether they want to work with me or not, right? Because I was trial and error. So if you're in this trial and error stage, like if you have your blueprints, it's going to really, really help you. And you have to take action, by the way. Then when you do that action, you're going to experience amazing, amazing levels of abundance start to flow without you even trying. Okay. It's so true. Every time when anybody worked with me, they're like, I can't believe like I had that much information about my soul. But once you know what it is, you operate so differently. Okay, so anyway, back to what I was talking about. So remember the difference, right? The difference is your heart and your soul will become one in a way, right? So Jane says, being in touch with source. Being in touch with source elevates your delivery of purpose. Absolutely. That is so true. That is so true. If you are in alignment and it's really coming from source, like the way that people get the transformation is usually much more quicker than if it's not. And the same thing for you too, right? So the clearer you are on your purpose this way, and the clearer you are on your blueprints, the easier it's going to become because you're going to operate from that space and it won't feel like you're trying so hard. Okay, so that's the first step, okay, is you have to realize that connection to source, right, will be the easiest way to bring in any level of success, any level of abundance, anything you want, anything you absolutely desire. That's the first stage of actually realizing you're in alignment. But this is not something you think in your head. This is something you experience with your body through the action. So this is why I created the 14-day manifestation method program, because I realized that you cannot actually know your soul unless you are acting in alignment with your soul every single day. And it's not the kind that they just follow whatever my heart feels like. I'm really talking about like with intention. If you know your soul's gift is all about love, you would operate so differently than if you were power, right? And you would do it in a different way than what somebody does it with power. So, but that's just the one level of it, because there's actually other ways too of getting in alignment with your secondary and your third. And knowing that also is going to really, really make it easier. And the second thing, right, is you really need to realize that your heart connection from your soul, from this soul stream that comes directly from source, right, you actually receive it every day, every moment of your life. And you really need to be able to bring in this guidance through the actual action. A lot of people get inspiration, they, take the action, right? But if it's not aligned to the soul, then you don't get the manifestation, right? It's like a hit or miss. So this soul stream, that's this energy that's coming through directly from your soul, and you're creating from your heart that way, the evidence does come, but it has to be truly in alignment to your main gift, your secondary, or your third gift. Because that is exactly what people are coming to you for. This is what I call your soul factor. This is why people work with you and why they do what they do with you, whether it's personal or it's a business, right? If they're clients or even your family, they all come to you because of your gifts this way. Your first to your third soul's gifts, okay? Then the most important thing is your purpose, right? Purpose and alignment, they really, really go hand in hand. We think that alignment equals purpose, but they actually need to go together. It's like purpose and alignment equals being source. So if you're doing your work of a higher level of service, but you're not operating directly from your heart and the creation from source, right? Which is what I was talking about. That's not real. That's not going to be real alignment. Because what a lot of people are doing is they may think that they're doing their purpose, which is what I said in the beginning, right? I was helping, I saved a lot of people's lives actually by doing what, acting upon in that way. But I didn't see the difference of actually what alignment is, which is that deeper connection to source. And I'm creating directly from my heart chakra, my heart creation, the way that source made me, and speaking truth from there. And then helping people on that level, and then bringing in that level of success for them, because that was in alignment to my soul and what I could deliver directly from source to their soul. So your purpose and alignment, they have to go together, right? In order for you to really be this embodiment of your spirituality and also your business, right? Being heaven and earth combined in a human being. And that's what we're kind of missing, is that even though you may be doing a purpose, whether you do massage or you do Reiki or you use, raindrop therapy or whatever technique you're using, even your business coach or your marketing expert, your strategist, that is, one part of your purpose, right? But you also need to do a very higher level of service that is connected to your soul's voice. Your unique originality needs to come out. And then when those two marry each other, then you can truly say that you have become this real alignment of soul alignment, of business alignment, of this true expression of what your soul is meant to do at a higher level of service. So yes, remember that when you are aligned to your true primary main gift, you'll be able to actually trust yourself more, have more confidence, and have a lot more different levels of abundance. And that can flow to you, right? And with you. And you actually see that all throughout your whole life and your being. Okay, so I wanted to kind of give you a little visual about this too, with my little man up there. Because I'm going to talk about the chakras and how that has a lot to do with consciousness and these levels of success that I'm talking about in alignment to source. So first thing that you need to know, of course, is that when you are in that alignment and you're doing your purpose, you have this higher level of service, and you are living this embodiment in your body, you become a multidimensional being, right? You act from the heart, you're creating from the heart. It's your originality coming through, your self-expression. That is a very, very higher level of consciousness. Okay. So to start from the scratch, right? When you realize that you are spiritual, that you are actually more than just this body, that you have a purpose. All like when you're at that consciousness, you're actually at very much the root chakra or the sacral chakra, because that's what you think about. You think, well, how can I fulfill the need of my like 3D reality? So whatever is of the body level, at the physical level, how can I create abundance that will bring it down into the earth? And so that you're feeling that, you're experiencing that every day, every moment of your life, right? Now that we have gone through our transformation of actually realizing we are actually more than just this body, that we're actually more spiritual, then we start to move more into the heart chakra. You know, and of course you have to go through the actions, you have to get in your power, you have to actually decide that I want to live a different way, that I have different values than just only whatever I need for my 3D body, right? And getting through that process is very, very hard because you have so much beliefs and illusions from so many people that told you the way that you're supposed to live. And this is where a lot of our society is living right now. They're kind of in between the 4D and the 3D, right? And they really are truly desiring another level of being. But they don't know how to get there because they don't have access to their heart. They have closed their heart. They have so many things to heal from their past. And they feel very victim at what they are doing now because they haven't had that ability to actually experience what alignment could look like for them, right? So a lot of you, if you're already light workers, this is where you're working through, right? You're helping people a lot through the 4D, the fourth dimensional aspect, where like it's about the mental stuff. It's about, you know, mindset. It's about processing your emotions or learning how to control your emotions, or let's say, like, what else do you guys work with? Like any, you know, releasing stress. Like you're just dealing with mostly whatever is of the mind, right? Whatever your mind worries about and thinks about. And so the further you are in your consciousness, and by the way, this is how alignment works, okay? You will find that it either is easy to break through, or you are just still stuck in this in between two worlds. Okay, like you're like, well, I do want to live a more powerful life. I do want to live, you know, freedom, where I have money, I have the means, everything that I need. And so this is where, you know, you start to become more 5D, fifth dimensional nature, where you really are living more in what your heart desires. And this is what basically is happening with humanity right now, is we're realizing that everything that we're creating really comes from the heart, not from the brain. And most of the time, when people are in this kind of reality of the 4D or the 3D, the body and the mind, they are really, really kind of just stuck with like thinking, well, how can I make money? How can I be famous? How can I, you know, impact more people? And just in a physicality. And the more you put your energy towards there, the more the chaos happens. So if you want to stay, I know people don't want to stay here, but most of the time that's why we are in chaos. This is why we create relationships, people, places, and things that misalign us all the time. We get into accidents, you know, car accidents, or people around us start dying, or people get sick. Like all of these things are actually because of our consciousness. We are really, really stuck in the mind. And we're doing it from our brain. And we're thinking, how can I create more? How can I create abundance, what I think abundance is? And this is that success mindset. And in the end, the more you go after that, the harder you work through the chaos. So when I was doing my energy, of, like I said, divine creation for myself, which is my third gift, this is what my life kind of felt like. It felt like hard work. It felt like I always had to give and do and just take action. And the more you do it in that way, the harder it is for you to really feel the heart and be in a more expansive nature, right? So once you get this level of consciousness, okay, I want to live a more powerful life. I want to be free. I want to create a life that really is alignment to my soul and no longer, going back and forth into the chaos. You really have to energetically cut from the 3D and the 4D so you can actually understand at a deeper level, okay? And this is why it's so important to break through it by actually through self-expression. This is one of the key aspects of why people are stuck, is because they don't self-express. This is why people feel afraid to be visible, why they know that they need to take action and they're doing it, but they don't really bring out their real soul's voice. It's because they feel like they're not being valued, right, from the heart, because they've never really created from the heart. So if you're able to create from the heart, directly from your heart, and from source that way, it will ultimately create higher levels of abundance and consciousness, spiritual consciousness, but also you can bring it back into your physicality. So then the most important thing is finding your voice, finding your own self-expression. Because once you figure that out, once you figure out what your soul is really meant to share, it's going to make it much more easier for you to attract the right people, places, and things that's going to bring in more levels of abundance. So right now, for me, this is why I get on my live streams, is because the more I self-express, the more I get self-realizations, the more I'm able to see a higher level of my being and a higher level of my service. But I couldn't do that beforehand because I was so stuck in here. Oh my gosh, in the chaos of what I need to do, how I'm going to pay my bills, what I'm going to do next, like what's next, never really being present. So this is why you need to learn how to be present. This is why people say you need to meditate. But the only reason you need to meditate is because you need to know what you're going to self-express. Once you're in this stage of self-expression, your whole life shifts. You become more, you become more of this expression of completion. Like there's this complete feeling of doing and being, they go together. And you're not like thinking too much about it. You're not worrying about it. You're just doing. So then comes the next higher level of awakening your spirituality at a different level, and your consciousness expands. So once your consciousness have expanded here, then you can actually be able to speak from a higher level of truth. Okay? Your truth, your divine truth starts to come out. Your soul is so wise. This deeper divine like wisdom, like this divine wisdom. Can you guys see that with my screen? Okay, anyway, I'll take a picture of it at the end. Your divine wisdom, wow. Your divine wisdom and how you affect people will be profound. So once you're that connected, then everything that you are of source, they will come directly straight back down into your being. And you will operate from a higher level of existence. This is actually why like your psychic gifts start to expand, and why you start to think in a different way, and you don't and you value, you have a different values, which are really more based on your relationships, deeper connections from heart-to-heart conversations, right? You start to think of, well, what is the unique way that I'm going to bring out this self-expression, but that is going to bring out a higher level of wisdom that really, really touches more people and that gets to the heart of what their soul is meant to do. So if you are doing this every single day of your life, shouldn't you have more manifestations of abundance happening to you all the time? Yes, I believe so. This is really what abundance should really look like. But when we are so stuck in achieving success, making money, or what was the other thing I said? Like not really, really, truly valuing yourself, you're really stuck in between here. And then you don't experience a higher level of abundance, you just experience a lot of chaos and this kind of confusion about what is my purpose, right? What am I supposed to be doing here? And if you're kind of stuck in between here too, by the way, like you're just kind of stuck in this part here, the next level is to awaken your higher psychic gifts, to start doing and being from a higher level of service and wisdom. And as soon as you start doing that, like people, places, and things, they start to come towards you and you attract and you manifest in a much faster way than what you did before. Okay? Does it make sense? Anybody have questions? Kimberly says, excellent information. Thank you. I'm totally channeling this, by the way. Every time I get on here, I don't know what I'm going to say, but I really, truly believe that whatever comes through is wisdom. So, you see what I'm saying? You need to find the right platforms, the right ways that's going to help your people so that they can experience a higher level of what your divine wisdom comes through, your truth. I should put truth also there because it really is truth. It's divine truth. It's integrity. It's sovereignty. It's like you are in your power and you're expressing your uniqueness while you are still being this deeper connection to source, that you are source. Okay. I'll take a picture at the end so you guys can see that. Anybody have any questions or anything you want to ask me about where you are that you may be also experiencing? Let's see. So enlightened to receive this info, just what I need to confirm for my way forward. Yay! Awesome, Jane. That's what's so cool about, when you are in your divine wisdom and you're doing this for people, how much your heart can be, in this fulfilling space, how much you're going to give people exactly what they need at the very moment when they need it. And that no matter if they buy something from you or not, like you're going to experience higher level of abundance in its own way, right? You're going to see it in your own way. And that's what I think, my opinion about it. This is why I spend so much time with you guys, because I see that this is what humanity needs and it's craving, which is alignment. And it's something so much more deeper than just saying like, oh, I'm just going to do my purpose and that feels like good to me, so I'm going to do that right now. It's so much more bigger. And by the way, when you get into your self-expression, you actually need to start to be this higher level of presence for people. Okay. Let me see. Kimberly says, yes, please. Can you be in alignment and then suddenly fall out of it? I feel I tasted it for a brief period this year and then poof, it changed again. Yes, it is true. This is why you need to continuously take soul aligned action. And this is why the blueprints help, because you can get like, how do I say it? Like, you can get fleeting moments of like, yeah, that's exactly what I'm supposed to do. I know I'm doing it. And it's like, you know, it's all flowing. But probably the only reason why it started flowing was because you probably did like 1 or 2 parts of your blueprints that like felt right at the very moment. You took an action that was aligned to that thing. And then you reap the benefits for whatever needed to happen at the moment. So you could feel that feeling. But then next thing you know, like you're not experiencing anymore because you haven't gone deeper into the next step. And the next step is looking at what other part of your blueprints you need to bring into your life, right? So like, for example, because my energy is divine love, and by the way, you think it's really cool, but it's really, really hard for me. Being love is not very easy. And probably for you, whatever your gift is, you feel like, oh, it's really easy, but it's really hard at the same time. It's so true. That's how you know it's your gift too, by the way. When I act upon everything that is about loving energy, I get really confused sometimes because I always have to like give. And then I may overgive, and then I forget about how I wanted to give and the reason I gave, because it's so unconditional. I operate from this unconditionality, right? Most people don't operate that way. And so I had to learn how to actually do it in a way that always felt self-fulfilling at the same time. If I'm able to do it from a self-fulfilling way, which is more about self-love, right? Then I can feel that fulfillment. But once I've got that energy and I've aligned to that part, then I also need to look at my manifesting blueprints, or looking at my business model, my business marketing archetype. And so I take what I know, what my soul is, my main gifts, and then I look at where I need to bring, you know, something more and more in alignment with my manifesting blueprint. So like, let's say my process, make my process easier, be around more people who are similar. Excluding people or things that's not in alignment to my own unique way of things that I want to do. If I do the opposite of my manifesting blueprints, all hell goes loose. I get into the chaos there. That's why the chaos actually happens, is because it's the result of you not being in alignment to a particular part of your blueprint. So it does change accordingly to the actions that you take. So you might have done something that, like that poof, right? Like something changed because you might have done something that was the opposite of your blueprint, right? Might have been the opposite of your manifesting blueprint, which, like, let's say if you're a process and you did outcome, oh my God, like everything went hell loose. You got into a chaotic situation and you had to fix that situation. And then another chaotic situation happened. You got to fix that situation. And this is like continuously trying to figure out what the heck happened. And that's why you need your blueprints, because it tells you like, okay, wait, where you got to think about, where was I? What did I take action 24 to 48 hours before that actually was not in alignment to me? What is it that I need to actually do right now that's going to get me right back in alignment? And then you actually have to be really clever. You know how many times I had to like rethink a lot of why I had those experiences? Was because I did something wrong in my blueprint, or a manifesting blueprint somehow. Okay, so that's a really good question. It's all about how your actions you are. So Jane says, when you are at the higher level, how do you keep grounded? Ooh, that's a good question. So this is why you need your third main gift, because this is your tools. This is like what you're mainly meant to help your people with, okay? So remember, my energy, my third gift is divine creation. Even though my energy is divine love, my main one is, this is where I always bring out my gifts. This is where I bring out my self-expression. But if I don't use my divine creation every day, which is me talking about business, talking about all of these things about alignment to you guys, I get so ungrounded. um, so ungrounded, meaning like I start going way, way, way up into my spirituality, into the etherics, and going into my other secondary gift, which is my divine power. And that's where I'm talking about leadership and impacting more people. And I talk about manifestation, intuition, your higher psychic gifts, and I get like all over the place and I talk about those aspects, right? And then what I've learned is that if I don't do an equal enough of both, I get no fulfillment of my divine love. Same thing for your third gift, okay? If you're speaking, your messaging is so aligned to, your third gift here, right? You're going to notice that people like resonate to you, but then you have to still talk the language of your main gift to them so that they buy from you. But what we're doing is we're either operating from, our higher psychic gifts of our secondary gift, thinking like, oh, that's going to solve all the problems, and it's very expensive. By the way, your gift up there is very expensive. That's your spirit, your higher psychic gift, your spirituality. And if you're talking from that language, then you're always going to be talking to your people above them, and then they don't understand the grounded aspects of why they need to buy that or why they need to do that with you. Does it make sense? So your main, your secondary, and your third, they have very, very particular purposes on how they help you. And if you're able to know, how you're doing it, and this is not just for business, this is for your life too. You'll notice that in your personal relationships, you've got all those people that really need that. Like, for example, I always end up with people who really are disempowered some way, or they're, they are really good at business, like they're good business coaches, or they're really good leaders in their industry, but then they're lacking the soul. They're really, really lacking the ability to feel their soul. So then that's what I give to them, right? If you are a divine creation, it would be something totally different, right? If your main gift was divine creation and your, secondary was truth, and your third was love, your tools will be so different that you're going to operate to give to your people. It's going to come from love. It's going to come from a different vibration. And your wisdom, your higher psychic gifts, your wisdom up there will serve a very particular purpose for them to get higher, stepping into their psychic gifts too. But it all has to resonate to the main gift and all of the other three at the same time. So I can talk about this all day. This is so cool. I'm so excited to talk about this because this is why it's not grounded. You need your third, your secondary, and your main. You need to know the difference of what they serve. Kimberly says, yes, it has happened several times over the past few years. Right? Makes sense. Jane says, yes. Oh my God, it makes so much sense. Good. I'm glad it's helping you. Hi, Lynette. So again, right now, if you have any questions about this, ask away, because this is a good chance for you to also understand where you might be blocked. But remember, again, achieving success, making money, and all of these other tangible things does not mean you're in alignment, right? If you are, manifesting all of those outward things, and also you may feel it inward too, by the way, it can also be inward manifestations too. You're still in there. You're still in this energy here. You're in the chaos. You're in the body. You're maybe probably more aligned to your third gift rather than your secondary or your main one. You're not operating in your 5D. You're not in this deeper level of the self-expression and bringing out your truth, and then bringing out your wisdom there, and then bringing that all the way back down into your body, into becoming source. It needs to come through into your physicality. And where most people get blocked, even though they've achieved their self-expression, they have a big following, they're a leader in what they do, right? But if they haven't achieved the higher level of divine wisdom and that unique truth, and don't actually bring that into the physicality, then that's not alignment. You can never experience that higher level alignment without being the upper part, the middle part, and the lower part too. You actually have to have heaven and earth within you as a human being all come into fruition all together, and you will feel the difference. And if you just jumped on in, you can listen again to what I just shared, because this was really, really powerful stuff. This is kind of like my workshops, really. I'm explaining very, very deep level of knowledge for you guys. And my hope is through my live stream shows that this is going to shift humanity in a way where they think very much more in this alignment, rather than, which is more about flow, rather than working hard and making money and all of this other stuff that's out there. It really is misaligning a lot of people. And I'm in that level. I want to be, I'm in this divine truth and wisdom, and I want to make sure that humanity is seeing a whole nother way of living. Okay, so again, I'm going to go back to my points of what I want to share, just to follow up, which is you need to realize that your connection to source will be the easiest way to bring in this higher level of success, and it's actually a real level of abundance. This is true authenticity. That's the first thing you need to realize, is that actually realizing that connection to source is really real level of success. Second is that your heart creation, so from your soul's voice, right, from this soul stream of energy that comes directly from your heart, that you actually need to receive this inner guidance within to be able to get what you want, to manifest whatever you want in your life and your dreams. And this is where you will be able to live in this flow, what we call divine will, right? It's just another way of saying that you're moving with your truth and you're getting into your sovereignty. Then third is you actually need to see the difference, that purpose and alignment, they both need to come together. Not just purpose, right, but also alignment too, because then they go hand in hand to becoming source and being this embodiment of source in the body, in the physicality. Even though you do your purposeful work, okay, even if you know that you're doing your purpose and you make a lot of money and you get a lot of clients and you do make an impact in your industry and stuff like that, that doesn't mean alignment. You really need true alignment, which has a lot to do with being this connection to source, bringing out this unique self-expression that's your heart creation that came directly from divine wisdom and truth. And when you bring that self-expression, your unique originality of your soul's voice and your real purpose of what you're doing together, right? Then that embodiment of having both your purpose and alignment come together, and that's where your real divine truth and wisdom is going to flow. And you're going to feel that your soul is operating from a higher space of being hired into your fifth dimensional aspect and higher. Usually your 5D or up to 10 is usually, where you're operating from source. And right, and so this is why you need to know your primary divine gift. What your primary divine gift is will help you to really know and trust that all form of abundance can actually flow to you, because it is coming directly from your heart and you're creating from the heart. It's your heart creation. It's ultimately the transformation that you give people. And the secondary and third parts of your gifts is going to be your tools. It's going to be your higher psychic gifts. It's your higher level of service. But that's not your main. That's not your main purpose. It's not what you are at soul level until you really, really embody that of your main divine gift. Okay. So this is why, again, I created the 14-day Soul Line Manifestation Program, because I realized that people are manifesting, but they're not manifesting directly from their heart creation. They're missing this piece of their self-expression. They're missing their unique truth and their wisdom to come through, because they're lacking the ability of knowing how to continuously do this on their own. So in this program, we actually manifest amazing things. But what I do is I give you your soul's blueprints. I give you what your main divine gifts are, so that you can use this for your life, basically. You're going to use this in the 14 days, every day, you're going to do a meditation, connect with source. You're going to look at what your blueprints are. You watch these 10-minute videos for you to understand like what you need to do in order to feel this alignment first. Then you find out what your soul line action is that day. You take the action, and then every 2 to 4 days, you manifest crazy things. I've seen people get on Glamour magazine, get on Life Grid magazine, get on guest blog posts like Thrive Global, Huffington Post, and like amazing bigger manifestations, because that was an alignment to them, by the way. And that on top of that, they made $5,000 in a day, or they've been able to manifest bigger manifestations, even in their relationships, and even changing their whole business model because it wasn't aligned to their soul. You know, like, so the clarity that people got was just so profound because they used their blueprints in a way that gave them the catalyst to move forward, right? Which gave them that self-expression that let them align to their higher psychic gifts, which is, you know, their wisdom or their truth, being connected to source, and get out of this chaotic mess here, right? The chaos, just living in the 3D body. And they operate in a more expansive nature, and then it's to create a momentum in their life and their business. And so, by the way, also the VIP option is I would do a big clearing, level 1 clearing work where I clear these 5D blocks that are directly related to particular past lives or things of feeling invisible, not being able to self-express, you know, like feeling like you can't really bring out your content. All of those things, I actually look into your blueprints and I clear that in the background over like 20-some different blocks so that you can actually step into your potential and, you know, take those aligned actions. And I've seen those that actually took that VIP option, they manifested big things. Oh, I missed the comment. Elizabeth says, how do you identify these gifts and which is first, second, third? I apologize if I'm behind. Thank you for sharing your incredible divine truth with us. Excellent workshop. Oh, yes. So this is what I'm talking about. Sorry, I forgot to say that. Your third and your secondary, your first, second, and third gifts, I actually look in your Akashic records. This is how I know. Your blueprints, I look in your Akashic records to find most important key information that's going to help you to feel this alignment that I'm talking about. When you are actually operating in either one of those, you're going to find that it's much easier for you to actually like manifest much bigger manifestations and being this full alignment that I'm talking about. So the easiest way is actually by you taking aligned action. So this is why I said to do my 14-day program, because it gives you just the beginning level, just the beginning point of being able to manifest and create, you know, things in a much more, you know, fast manner than the old way, which is you doing it through the brain. A lot of the manifestation methods out there are all about just doing it from your mindset or your, and by the way, you can watch that live stream. It was very powerful where I talked about the difference between manifesting from the brain or manifesting directly from the heart. So what we're going to do in this 14-day program is manifesting from the heart, directly from your heart. And the only way you can do that is knowing your soul's gifts, knowing what your soul is meant to express itself in this way. And I was, like I said, I have been reading people's soul's blueprints and giving them their blueprints. And that's what I found is the fastest way to get in this alignment and to actually feel this truth, like what I'm talking about right now, right? To come through you, because I want you to be able to duplicate these same results and do it yourself. This is why I educate people so much, like every day on my live streams, because I feel like we are missing the point, which is about alignment in this way. So thank you for that. All right. Anyway, I think I've talked my butt off. So I'm sure you guys are like, when is she going to end? But I do do this pretty often just because I feel like it's the right time. 2017 is absolutely where you can really, really create your dream life. And by the way, by me doing this soul line manifestation method that I've created, this is what you're going to learn in my program, the 14-day soul line manifestation method program. That method absolutely gives you the ability to manifest amazing things. I manifest meeting celebrities. I manifested this house. I've manifested moving to Maui like this after like 1 week. I've manifested, let's see, like over like 20 some different JV partnerships, for my business. I've been in Huffington Post, which is like guest blogging. I've been in Thrive Global. I've been on, what are the other things? On Entrepreneur on Fire podcast. I've been given all of these different opportunities that I wouldn't have done if I didn't take these online actions every day. So I want you to get to this kind of alignment very quickly, right? And so at the end of this here, if you really want to know more about this, you can PM message me. You can look at my website that's leimomikeliikuli.com, and you can look for that one program. It's called 14-Day Soul Line Manifestation Method Program. And you can also join my Facebook group, which is the Soul Alignment Leaders for Conscious Living. And you can just search that, or you can go on my business page and it has a link there. And also, by the way, if you kind of want to have an idea of what your gifts are, you can take my Divine Business Gifts quiz. And then there, it actually gives you 3 kind of types of what your gifts might be. And that's what's going to help you to know what your niche is, who you help, why you do it, and where do you find inner peace. And so that's that quiz is right on my website too. It's called like free quiz. If you go on there and just put in your email address, and then you're going to get these questions that you can answer to see like which one is your type. And that actually also gives me an idea your primary or your secondary type. But I can actually pinpoint that even further if I go directly in your Akashic records and I find out which of the kind of 8 kind of energetic signatures that you might be. And then when I give you your secondary and your primary, your secondary, and your third, when you work with me, alignment to your third and your secondary is a bit different than your primary. So I also have other private programs and stuff like that. If you feel in alignment that you really need much more of a private care, it's also there on my website. So just have a look at that and see if that resonates with you. And let's see what else. You guys have any other questions? Okay, I see everybody's all good. All right, well, I'll be sharing more amazing information. You can also go to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel, I give all of these like free information like this. You just look up my name, Leimomi Keliikuli, and you can find me. And by the way, I'm going to create also another TV show so that you guys can get these kind of informations too. But remember, your blueprints is so personal. So having somebody go into your Akashic records and giving you that amount of information, you won't really find. When you work with me, I actually give you like 3 hours worth of what your manifesting blueprints are and all of your soul profile and all of that. And that much information I give you when you start working with me, like more long-term, we look at those things. All right. So you guys have a beautiful day, and thank you so much for listening. Aloha.